Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Unfiltered Voices. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all okay. So it's just me and Beck tonight, and we're just gonna discuss a couple of things that have been relevant over the last week or so. A couple of subjects that we want to know your opinion on. Just give you a bit of an update on life, really.
Hey everyone. Yeah.
Beck, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, she's not very well, so you're gonna have to bear with her today. She's been really poorly, haven't you?
I have. Yeah, it's been poo. Past few days I've been dying.
Bless you.
But I'll be alright. I'll be alright. Um so we was
So how? Go on.
what was you gonna say?
I was going to say, how was your Belgian trip? Because obviously we were going to discuss that anyway, but I feel like you've only
Yeah.
recently come back, so we could start with honestly, I think I stand for all when I say it. Fucking hell, the places you did over there were insane.
It was really good. Um
Yeah.
we've obviously been twice now in the space of like a month. And it's so different over there to here, and that's why I love Europe. The UK is slowly, like I'm starting to hate it.
Yeah.
Like there's so much at the moment that's going on in the UK that just makes me really dislike doing it here. So
Yeah. We're going to speak about that, I think, a bit later, aren't we?
we are,
One
yeah,
particular thing that's been going around this week.
yeah. So, um, yeah, that's why I've done more in Belgium at the moment. I am looking at other places to go. I've got Germany on the list. Um, And then wherever else that we end up, really. Ricky's got a few plans where he wants to go. I can't remember where they are, to be honest. But yeah, we've got a few plans up our sleeve.
Do you have, did you do a favourite place on your Belgian trip this time?
Do you know what? That it's so hard to like pinpoint a favourite explore that we've done, because we've done so many over there that we really enjoyed. So it's so hard to pinpoint like a particular one. However, I did really enjoy the TV and radio broadcasting station,
Yeah.
but we didn't get long in there at all. So we was told how to get in, um, and we got in obviously, and within 30 seconds of being in, this alarm started going off, and we was like, "Fuck's sake!" So we ran out and sat in the car and waited at the gates where we could see if security come. And we sat there for like 45 minutes and nobody come. And we was like, do we go in or have we pushed our luck now? Like, what do we do? Um, we ended up going back in after probably an hour. And again, we got straight in. The alarms are going off. There's no way that anyone could explore in there for longer than like maybe 10 minutes, because them alarms are piercing. So we was in there probably all of 3 minutes, got a few photos, a couple of videos, and we fucked off. But I really enjoyed that one, and I'm just gutted that we couldn't get longer in there. If I knew the crack with that place, like security or if police come, like who responds to the alarm going off. Um, Also, there's cameras in the main bit. There's cameras dotted around everywhere, so they're being linked to somewhere. So we knew that as soon as we see them cameras, we was very limited with time, and that's why we just rushed. But yeah, I do wish that we got longer in there because it was amazing. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's one that stood out to me as well. Like, it's so cool, and it's just something you're not going to find in the UK. Like, if you want to do something on that scale, all the ones I've seen have been abroad, and it just looked absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's not often
I
you
was,
find stuff like that here.
no, and yeah, the pictures and videos that you got of it was, yeah, amazing. I really enjoyed that one. Also, you did, what was that like? I am a thick bitch. The circle thing, the big circle thing that you were looking up out of.
Cooling tower.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was cool. It was a climb up, and I can't even tell you how much I craved that climb.
Yeah.
You know more than anyone, but I was so eager, and I really enjoyed it. Like the climb up is a bit sketchy, um,
Mhm.
and yeah, it was probably stupid, but a lot of people clearly climb up the same way that we did. But yeah, it was so worth it. Like getting in, we've got drone shots of there, and honestly, it it's just amazing. I'll have to show you the photo because I've not yet uploaded it. I will have to show you the photo. But yeah, that was a cool one. And we've done a few hospitals there now, but we've done a really old hospital, and I think I uploaded the photo, and it's me sat on a bed.
Yes, yeah, you have seen it.
That was such a cool hospital. Sketchy to get in, but I really enjoyed it. Like Belgium, honestly, has so much to offer.
Yeah. It seems to be the place to go at the moment because I've also seen loads of other people go in there as well.
Yes,
But
yeah,
they can do completely different things. Like some other explorers that I know from up north have been, not Mr. A and that, obviously I know they've been recently, but some other people went and they did completely different things. And yeah, it does seem like the place to be. I really want to go there like as soon as possible.
yes. You'll love it. You will absolutely love it. Like you have a mixture of things there. So the first time we went over, our focus more then was like houses. We did do the odd big thing, but our focus was houses. And this time our focus was the bigger things. And we done, I think it was like only one house that we done.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we did make some friends in Germany. No, not in Germany. We made some friends in Belgium, but they are from Germany. And I do feel like that's going to be the next place we go to. I'm currently trying to find some trains that are going about at the moment, and they look amazing, but it's proving very difficult because the language barrier when trying to search for things. I'm trying to like I'm Google translating things, so obviously I'm typing it in German, but there's not a lot coming up.
Yeah, I can imagine that's been difficult.
It is, and I think sometimes that's the hardest part. Like when you're trying to find places abroad, like the biggest issue that you have is you can't just type in English and then expect to find what you're looking for because it just doesn't happen.
Nah.
So you
Yeah.
you've got to Google Translate everything. So what I'm wanting to look for, and then any info that you get, you've then got to copy and paste that, and then Google Translate that again. It's so much hard work, but it does help because I found places doing it like that. Some incredible
Yeah.
places.
And how nice that you've met too, because you said these people from Germany were really nice.
They were lovely. They were so lovely. Um, and we have plans to meet up with them in the future. Um, but yeah, they were lovely, and we've helped them. Um, we was where we met them was a power station. Okay, so they were just coming out as we was going to go in, but there was a fire, so we decided to just fuck that off because we didn't want to be around that area at the time that there was a fire because obviously it doesn't look good on us, and chances are we would get the blame. So we left it. Um, and we went back the next day and it was all good, it was fine, we'd done it, but they needed help with like knowing how to get in and where everything was, and we helped them with that. But yeah, they were such a lovely couple, and again, like this time when we went over, we met two blokes at a hospital we were doing, and they were lovely. Like they're pardon me, sorry, I had to burp. um I just found or no I just find that everyone that we've come across in Europe is so kind. They're very respectful, and it's completely different to here. Like I get the impression that explorers from Europe, there's no kind of competition. There's no like they're not, it's completely different to the UK, completely. And they don't mind helping, and that's what I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Just seems to be like they're happy to meet other explorers, whereas here it's like if you arrive at a place and there's other explorers there, it's almost like a negative. It depends, like who they are and stuff, but there's a lot of hate, isn't there, between urban explorers
In the
over here.
UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. There's I feel like there's a lot of competition and a lot of hate, a lot of jealousy, and I've never found that in Europe at all. Never. And people are always so happy to help, and that's why I think I'm now doing more in like Europe than what I am doing here.
Yeah, and I completely get that. Like, I think if obviously my passport is in the post, it's on the way. But if I had a passport right now, I'd be doing little weekends when I haven't got the kids and stuff. Just like you are, because yeah, one, I think the stuff in the UK, you do like you come to a limit on it, so you're only going to be able to do certain stuff in the UK because there is only certain stuff in the UK, you know, like you've got the time cap, you've got the houses, but regarding bigger things, you know, like hospitals, factories and stuff like that, that's kind of where you're going to get to. Do you know what I mean? Like prisons maybe if you're lucky, but then it kind of, where are you going after that? You know, whereas in Europe you've got these really cool massive places and industrial places and the broadcasting center or whatever it was called and stuff like that, but I feel like you are limited here. Like once you've done certain things, that's kind of, it's going to be rinse and repeat.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
obviously they're all different and I love it, which is why I'm in the hobby, but in the sense of there is only so much you are going to be able to do, you know, because there's with in perspective, the UK is a small place. You know, yes, you've got Wales, you've got Scotland and stuff like that, which are great, but I do feel like you're limited, you know, and once you've done certain things, that's kind of your limit for the UK. If you want to do bigger and better things, you've got to go abroad.
You do. Yeah. We've done Italy a few times, and I absolutely love Italy. However, I feel like at the moment I've done more in Belgium that I've enjoyed, and there's so much more in Belgium to do that I want to go back for, and I feel like this weekend I'm probably going to end up either in Belgium or Germany, but I've got to do it.
Yeah, I think you will be too. There's no doubt in my head that you'll be sat in your bed this weekend. You will be abroad somewhere.
I do feel like I am going to be. I just need to get searching for a few things, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, so easy to get to. Like, obviously, I haven't been abroad for years and years and years. Like, obviously, my youngest daughter only went to school 2 years ago, so I've only kind of got my freedom back for the last couple of years, and I've been very focused on getting a degree and stuff like that, which has been put on hold and stuff. So I'm not educated on it. And when you started going to like France, Belgium, and stuff, like since you've been speaking, I was so surprised at one, how cheap you can get it at times,
Uh
and
huh.
two, how easy it is to get there.
It's so easy. I have always to get over to like France or Belgium or anything like that. I've used the Eurotunnel, and that's only because I have a fucking fear of water, and going on a ferry is like a really big thing for me. However, I did get on the ferry over to France, to Calais, a few weeks ago, and I have kind of got used to it now. I wouldn't say that my first experience on the ferry was great. It wasn't. We spoke about it previously, I think, on here, and it was horrible. Like it was the worst thing ever. Like I couldn't imagine anything else that's worse than that. However, coming back on the ferry that same weekend, it was fine. It was calm, and
Yeah,
that completely changed my mind. Then and I thought, you know what, going over was just really bad timing. It wasn't great. The weather was poo, and that's why it weren't that good. But I've been lucky ever since, and it has been fine.
yeah,
However, I do find myself the whole time pretty much standing outside because I know like I've got fresh air. If I start to panic, then I've got fresh air and things like that. It is a nightmare, but I do enjoy it now.
I know. I'm like, are you not cold? And you're like, yes, I can't feel my hands, but I'm staying where I am. I'm not going inside.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? On the way back, um, on Sunday, I actually went in the shop for a good 20 minutes maybe, and I was looking at loads of things. I was looking at perfume, I was looking at makeup, and I was looking at jewellery. So it kept me occupied for about 20 minutes, and I was fine. But then I had to come out because I felt myself starting to panic. But yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah, you are 100%. I think you were just really unlucky because it was a really choppy crossing that first time you went,
Yeah.
and then you were like, "Oh my fucking god, I've got to get back." But it wasn't half as bad as we thought, was it?
No, because I got off that ferry and straight away I started looking at the Euro tunnel back, and it was like 140 odd pound, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to literally. I mean, I could have done it. I could have paid for it, but I couldn't justify it
Yeah,
because we'd already obviously got the return back on the ferry kind of thing. So yeah, it was just a case of, do you know what? I'm gonna have to get the return back on the ferry and suck it up, and it was fine. And I'm glad that I did, because if I'd have done the Euro tunnel on the way back, I never would have known that it's not as bad as what it was going over.
yeah, exactly. No, definitely. And yeah, you weren't half as anxious about it like this weekend that you've just gone, was you? I mean, you were a bit like, oh, don't really like it, but not anywhere near as bad as you were. So I think the more you do it, especially as the weather's getting nicer now, um, yeah, it will just be a breeze to you in the end.
Yeah, and I personally feel like now, every time I go over to France or Belgium or anything like that, I am going to get the ferry over because it's cheaper. It's £109 return.
Yeah, and that's for you and Ricky.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, if we go on the Euro tunnel anywhere, you're looking at my quote for the weekend just gone was £245.
Yeah, so it's a huge difference.
Yeah, and like you're just saving money by going over on the ferry, and that's why I had to suck it up, be a big girl, and just do it like that. I've got seasickness bands, anyways, which I did wear this weekend. Not that I felt like I needed them, but for my own peace of mind, I put seasickness bands on, and we are going to, and I wear them for a reason. And we're gonna talk about this today. But I have a fear of being sick, which we will talk about in a bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, it all kind of ties into why I don't like the ferry. But yeah.
No, you're definitely getting better. I mean, my week's been slightly different. So I feel like so much has gone on in the last week.
Mm.
Um, so much has changed, and change is positive but scary too. And I feel like I'm not really regulating my emotions around everything at the moment. So I've taken my eldest boy out of school to homeschool him for now. My youngest is still in school. Um, which they're both due to start another school shortly, which is, I say shortly, a good couple of weeks. So yeah, I've got Leo at home. Um, we're only on day one, and honestly, I'm trying to work with him. Right, I'm reading and stuff like that, and I'm looking at these nouns, adjective nouns, proper nouns, compound nouns, and I'm thinking, I don't fucking have a clue what any of this shit is. So I'm just rolling with it the same as him. But yeah, so he's now officially homeschooled for now.
Mhm.
Evie's still in school. Come back yesterday from picking Evie up from school, and my little cat was having a fit, so rushed her to the vets. She's fucking epileptic. That's brilliant. So yeah, that was yesterday. Um, and yeah, I think just a lot of change. Obviously I've been really ill. I am, touch wood, a lot better, I would say, wouldn't you, Beck? Like
Mm.
we've been searching and searching and searching for like medication and stuff, and we come across this. You'll probably know about it, some of you. I'd never heard of it. Becky had. Is it? Am I going to say it right?
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah,
And I think it said Pepto Bismol.
yeah. Pepto Bismol. So apparently it was like gold dust to find in the UK at one point, but now it's coming back over. But I've started taking that, and I have stopped throwing up. Um, which is great because for a good 2 weeks I couldn't keep anything down. Like, and that's probably, yeah, and we're going to speak about obviously Becky's fear around that later on. What's the word for it? Emetophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will speak about that as well. But yeah, so I feel like my health's getting better. Went and did some climbing last week as well. At a disused, like, somewhere similar to like Go Ape. So obviously got the climbing equipment and stuff. So went and did that with the kids and my friend Alex. That was really fun. It was pitch black, but probably made it a bit more fun. So yeah, we're doing all right. We're just rolling along. Yeah, obviously no change with the situation we spoke about last week. We will update you on that if we hear anything else.
Yes.
But I am out tomorrow because the kids are they're going away for the weekend. And this is going to roll on to our next subject because it's been called quite a few things, but I know it, right? If you haven't seen it, you've been living under a fucking rock. In fact, you should have seen it about 25 times a day from different people because I have, Becky has, and it seems like the whole Urbex community has. So there's this incredible house. To me, it's incredible. I sent it to Becky while she was in Belgium, and I was like, "Oh my god, look at this! Like, I need to get here ASAP." So I've seen it named as the Arabic mansion or the tree house or the thatched mansion or something. What have you seen it named as?
Pretty much what you've just said.
Yeah, so it's the one with the big. It's got like a big pond and the rocks outside. It's got a separate tree house and it's got all the lovely Arabic decor inside and stuff like that. So I am going there tomorrow. Um, Alex doesn't want to go. He hates tour buses. He point blank refuses to, but I have forced him to come with me because I've wanted to go for over a week now. But I am put off because Jesus Christ, right? So a friend of mine who is quite a big explorer, he's quite well known. He went, I want to say Monday, and he said, "I'm going here." And I was like, "Oh, please let me know how you get on. You know, like I'm really excited to go myself. Like I really hope it's still good and stuff like that." He turned up and sent me a photo before he even got in there of about 6 or 7 cars, all explorers, all parked outside. And I was like, "Fucking hell." He then went in to try and film a bit of content and sent me a photo of literally a line of people queuing up outside the treehouse bit where the rope bridge is to go in and take photos. It was like a queue at Tesco Express. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. I think that's what we're going to speak about because what the fuck? Like and also can I just say that house is nothing like it was when I first saw it posted. There's shit gone, like shit's been taken, shit's missing. Like, guys, what's going on? Because that place has literally been on the scene for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And to have a queue of people outside, I just feel like if you're going because you really love it and you really generally just want to go in and take photos and stuff, like you said, then fine. But I do feel like people are going there for the competition side of things. So I've done it. I went there for it first. I was one of the first there. Guys, honestly, like this place is just blown up.
It's bad. And when I was in Belgium, you sent me a photo, like a screenshot of someone's post, and I said to you, now they've got it, that's going to get tour bus. And sure as hell, look what's happened.
Fucking everyone has it. Everyone.
Yeah.
So I think the first person to do it and the person to find it, I could be wrong, don't shoot me down. I think it was Mission Urbex and his girlfriend Beck. That's the first person I saw do it.
Yeah.
Um, when he took photos of it, it was beautiful, all pristine. And then I've seen people go after him and it was pristine. But now it's not the same. People have clearly gone and had their take of it.
Yeah. The thing is, right, there's only so many photos you can see of the same house. Like, everyone seems to get the same angles. Every photo is the same as everyone else's.
Hmm.
And I just feel like, do people not go out and find their own stuff?
Yeah, that's very true. And that's why I've and ahed with you all week, haven't I? I've been like, oh, I don't want to fucking go now because I'm literally jumping on the tour bus. But I am going to go because do you know what the most beautiful part of it to me was? And I've always said this, is the outside shots. It's the outside of it. I think it looks so unique for the UK from the outside. So I am going to go. But yeah, like absolute madness. The queue of people just cracked me up. Like some of them I knew and I recognised, and it just cracked me up. I was just like, "Fucking hell!" Like, and I had two other people message me as well. Mark and Mitch, they done it. They won't mind me saying, because they posted it, and they turned up and they were like, again, they were like 10. There was like they said to me, "Oh, there was over 10 people there exploring it, so we just fucked off and come back later because oh my, it's not a party."
No, and you'd never fucking see me queuing up to get photos of an abandoned house. There's absolutely fucking no way that I'd be doing that. If I turn up and there was a queue of people, I'd fuck back off.
Yeah, it's like at this point, it's a museum. There should
Yeah,
be someone charging entry fee because what the hell? It's just crazy. But yeah, I am gonna kind of pot kettle black and go and do it myself. But
yeah,
I don't know. It is mental, and I think as well. Like, are people? I don't. I'm gonna be careful. So obviously, we've spoken about people taking and stealing things in the past.
uh,
I feel like it's becoming more normalized.
yeah,
Like, it's happening a lot quicker than it did. Does that make sense? So you could see a lovely time cap posted, and it could be like that for a year, and you'd see people come and go throughout the year or 6 months or whatever, and the pictures would be the same, and then eventually, you know, the wrong people would get in and it would get robbed or whatever. But now, I feel like it's only a matter of days.
yeah. It is. It's not good at all.
You cut out a bit there.
Same as you.
Did I?
Yeah.
Ah.
So I don't know what's going on there.
Um. So yeah, I just don't know what's going on. I think it just goes back to the UK scene is just. I feel like there's just little groups of people around, and it's all a bit of a gang war.
Yeah. This is why I prefer to find my own stuff in the UK. If you're finding your own stuff, you're guaranteed that no one's going to turn up, i.e. tour bus. And that's why I only share with people I know I can trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And I had a go on.
I was going to say, and obviously I make sure that there's no addresses in anything that I post.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with somebody earlier in the week. Um, I won't make it obvious because they'll know who I'm on about. So she asked me for a location, and this person has helped me out a couple of times before. So normally, um, I probably would have given it to them, but this place had specifically been asked. I'd been asked, please don't give out. So I said, I've been asked by the person that gave it to me not to give it out. Um, and that didn't go down very well. I wouldn't say it ended in an argument. I don't think me and that person will be speaking again. And I just, yeah, there's all these unwritten rules of Urbex at the moment. Well, for however long, it's been like this, but all the unwritten rules of you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that, and if I give you a pin, you should give me a pin. It's honestly, I do stand by what I said a couple of months ago when we started this podcast, that it just becomes a big playground of children bickering over someone's nan's house.
Yeah, yes, it is.
It's crazy.
It is. But I go back to what I've just said. Like, this is why when you find your own stuff, you don't get half this fucking shit. You really don't. And, like, I have found my own stuff in the past, and unfortunately, a couple of them have got out, but then some of them haven't, and I like to keep it like that.
Yeah, because like you said, you don't get the shit with it. You don't get the drama along with it.
Yeah, you don't get none of that stuff. Like, you can go out, you can post it when you want to post it without the fear that, it's going to get posted, i.e. the tour bus has turned up and going to get posted before, because you found it yourself. So the only people that know about it is whoever went. So
Yeah. But yeah, that's the topic of the week is the Arabic mansion. If you've been, let me know. Like, if you're in the comments and you've been, please do say like how you found it, because I think it's a fascinating place. I think it's very different for the UK.
it does,
The
it
setup
look,
of it.
yeah, it is cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong, it looks good, but there's no way that I would be going now, not after the tour bus and the queues of people that that are queuing up
Yeah.
to get their photos. Like, I'm not doing it, and I feel like that's personal preference. Like, that's just because I don't want to go and do it for that reason doesn't mean to say that anyone else doesn't have to go and do it. Because if they want to do it, they're going to go do it anyway. But I'm just not. I'm not here for that. I'm just nah. I've
No, and
seen
Alex
enough of
was the
it.
same. He was like, I'm not. She was like, Shannon, absolutely not. You're not going to see me seen dead there now. And I was like, no, come on, please. I really want to go. But he's the same. He's like, no, I'm not jumping on the fucking tour bus. And I'm like, well, I am. So come on. But usually I wouldn't. But this place has had my heart since it first came out. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that I would have been going earlier. But obviously, like I said, I've taken Leo out of school and it's just been a bit of a week of mum stuff. So, but yeah. I will go, and I did a school
Um,
actually. I did a school last week. So this wasn't a new school. We attempted this school last week. This is why you're in Belgium, I think, wasn't it?
hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. So it had like all the science blocks and stuff like that. It's been done many times. We attempted it last year, got caught by security, but there is no longer security on site. So yeah, well worth a try if it's one that you've attempted and you know of. Go back and give it a go because it was really good. Everything left behind, but.
I see the photos of that. It does look good. I don't know what school it is, but it does look very good.
Well, you will do. I don't think it's one you'll go to. It's quite far from you, but
Yeah,
I've,
probably.
yeah, we're going to arrange something really, really soon to go out with each other because it seems like ages again. But I think we've just had so much going on, like
Yeah.
so. But also another thing, me and my friend spoke about the other day is I don't know if we've discussed this on the pod, so it can just be a really quick conversation. But I want to know your idea on it because I think everyone's preference is going to be so different.
Uh-huh.
So, urban exploring, Urbex,
Yeah.
is supposed to be exploring abandoned and derelict buildings.
Uh-huh.
So I did a post the other day. It was an old Vitality office. I did post it. Didn't really love it. Didn't enjoy it. Took a few photos and that was it. But I was having this conversation with a friendly conversation. This is not an argument at all because it's preference. But I feel like like right now, and I've been I've done it. I have done it myself. So this is not criticism, but is an office block that's closed down and been put up to let again, is that really abandoned?
Um, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily class it as being abandoned, no.
I think there's the difference between abandoned and disused.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and this is why sometimes when I'm doing my posts, I'm very careful with the words that I use.
Yeah, because you will get shot down for it. I mean, we
Yeah.
did Birmingham City Hospital, didn't we?
Yes.
And a lot of people said to me, well, that's not abandoned, it's just closed down. But I'm still all for doing places like that because they're going to be demolished, they're going to be changed, they're going to be refurbed, they're not ever going to be the same as they are now. So go and document it, go and take photos.
Mm.
I just think at the moment, fucking hell, you get like, oh, Little Monkey Soft Play is going to be closing down and taken over by a different company, and people are on it.
Yep.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think, yeah, it's preference, isn't it? Because I know some people are all for time caps and it has to be very much abandoned, net curtains that are mouldy and cut and stuff like that from the wind and weather. And But yeah, it's yeah, I think as long as you're careful with the words that you use, like you said,
Yeah.
then a disused office block, disused police station, opposed to abandoned, because I think there is a difference. I do.
Yeah, there is. And like that Birmingham City Hospital, when I posted that, I didn't put abandoned, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that I put closed hospital, because if I said abandoned, people would be like, well, no, it's not though. And I can't be asked with that drama. So that's why I just choose my words carefully now and then go with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, what's our agenda?
So, obviously we touched upon like my fear of being sick and it being an actual phobia, and I thought that we could maybe discuss that, because now I want to just say, trigger warning for anyone that's listening, I will be talking about you know like sick and things like that. So yeah, if you don't like it and it triggers you, then obviously I've made you aware that that's what we will be talking about. But um yeah, I'm interested to know if anyone else has this same phobia as me. Now I know there's people out there that are like, I don't like being sick, but this phobia is completely different to just, I don't like being sick. It's like
Mm.
it's a real phobia. Um, so yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about that, and I think you said that you had some things that you'd ask me and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, so I don't personally have it. I don't have a fear of being sick. Obviously, I don't think anyone likes it. It's not pleasant, is it? But I definitely don't have a fear around it. But I have known of people, not just you, who do have this emetophobia. People online, people that I know in real life, and I know that it can sometimes really take over your life.
Yes.
But I just want to know more about it, really, because you know, obviously, you're a mum. You've had to, you're a mum of five.
Yeah.
You must have had to have dealt with sickness bugs. So is it just yourself being sick, or you know, is it the sick itself? Like, I just want to know more about kind of whatever you're comfortable to speak about, obviously, because I am very naive to the whole emetophobia. Um,
Mm.
I'm not educated on it at all.
Okay. Right. So yes, the kids, like growing up, the kids get bugs, and you can't escape them. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. And yes, my kids had bugs, and to be honest, I'm very lucky. Touch wood, that they haven't had many in their lifetimes yet. Okay, so that, I suppose that's a blessing for me. However, we have had to deal with bugs in the past, and my kids will tell you that if any of them were ever sick, I'd run a fucking mile. I would run a mile, and I wouldn't be able to deal with them, and I would be going around the whole house with like bleach. I would bleach my hands so that I knew that they were clean. Um, Ricky would have to deal with them. He always did, and I would avoid the kids for for probably about a week. And that sounds really shitty, like as their mum, that I avoided them when they probably needed me the most. However, Ricky dealt with them, and they were fine with that. But yeah, like having kids and having this phobia has been fucking shit. Like it does make you feel like a bit of a shit mum at times when when you look back and think, like, my kids were poorly, and they just want their mum. But yeah, I couldn't deal with it, and it's more the worry that I can deal with hearing it. That's fine. I can't see it. I hate it. I hate seeing people be sick. Um, and if I know it's a bug, I will avoid you. Like I will avoid you for a month if I have to. So yeah, it's a fucking horrible phobia, and it's just the fear of me being sick myself. That's all. Because I don't like it. I like it. It's fucking horrible. And I can honestly sit here right now and say that the last time I was sick was when I was about 18. I'm now 38.
Really?
Mhm.
How?
Honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Um, Good hand washing is one of the things. I like. I've looked up so many things to do with this phobia. Okay, I've had therapy for it, which I couldn't deal with therapy because they do exposure therapy, and I was not. I can't deal with that. So yeah, I stopped the therapy, um, but I learned that if, say, like at the moment, neurovirus is going around. Okay, there's a second wave of it. If you're washing your hands, do it with soap and warm water, and sing "Happy Birthday" twice in your head, and then your hands are clean.
Yeah, I've seen that promoted around hospitals actually.
Yeah, so it's just doing things like this. Like I'll always have hand sanitizer with me. I've got Clinell wipes, which is what hospitals use for cleaning services and things like that. Like I've got them because it makes me feel better knowing that I have them. And I feel like maybe in a way it's helped because, it's been a long time since any of my kids were unwell. We get the common
Mm,
colds and things like that, but with regards to like any sickness bugs, the kids haven't had one for years, which is a blessing.
yeah.
But yeah, it is a horrible phobia, and I'm interested to know if anyone does have this phobia, and it would be nice just to talk to other people that have it. And I can never sit here like when you sit here and say I don't have a phobia of being sick, like it's not nice, but I'm not scared to be sick. I sit here and think, how are you not scared?
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that because it's very real. It's very real. Do you know what I mean? And I think phobia of like spiders and heights and stuff is very normalized, but maybe emetophobia isn't as understood because people are like, well, it's just sick, but well, it's just a spider, you know.
Mm.
Um, I think it is a real thing. 'Cause like you said, they do offer therapy and stuff for it, and I've seen quite a few people online, like TikTok creators and stuff, that really struggle with it. And um, yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting to me. Obviously, it's something that really affects you, and it must be
Mm.
really difficult at times. But I think as your kids get older as well, they stop getting so many sickness bugs. So
Yes, that is true. Like as my kids have got older, it like none of them ever really um, have got bugs. I honestly can't even tell you the last time, in fact, that any of them did have a bug, and it's been like such a long time, and I'm thankful for that because obviously I don't want that. But
yeah,
yeah, it is a real phobia. And if you search up on it, there's so much information. Like maybe I don't know, about 15 years ago, when I was probably like at my worst, there wasn't a lot of info, and they just offered like therapy, and I just couldn't do it. But I'd say that over the years, maybe my fear of being sick has lessened slightly, so it's not as bad as what it once was. However, I still have that phobia, but I don't go to excessive like bleaching my hands and things like that. It's not good for you, and it used to make my hands bleed. I don't do that anymore, so I kind of noticed with that I'm obviously feeling less kind of scared about it, I think. But who
yeah,
knows? It could be the fact that also like none of my kids have been sick for a while.
yeah. I think that would definitely help. And the fact you haven't been sick for like nearly 20 years,
Yeah,
that's mental.
I know. I honestly don't know how. Don't get me wrong. I've felt so sick um, at times where I thought I was going to be sick. Probably more so lately because obviously I've not been well, and that like involves a lot of dizziness, and dizziness don't help. It does make you feel sick at the best of times, but yeah, I now have anti-sickness tablets anyway, so that to me as well. Not that I've taken any yet, but for me, I know that if ever there's a point where I feel like I could be sick, I've got anti-sickness and hope that they work.
Yeah, and I completely get that because I'm the same with my diazepam. So I'm not actively taking them every single day, but I always carry them with me because I know it's like a safety backup. Do you know what
Yes.
I mean? Like if I'm out and I get really panicky and disorientated with my mental health problems, then I can take a diazepam and I know that will stop me feeling the way I do. So I do get that. I do completely understand that, but if I'm I said to you, didn't I, before the pod, like I have spoken very openly to you about me being sick.
Mm.
Um, I never really thought anything of it. So I guess is it in a like, how do you find that when I'm saying to you like, oh, I projectile vomited last night, like all night?
Um, See, like things like that, it doesn't bother me. Like, if anyone talks about like sick or anything like that, I'm fine. So I can talk about it and I can have conversations with people about it, but I just can't see anyone be sick, and I don't like being sick myself. That's it. Like that's it. There was a period of time where I feel like I got used to seeing people be sick, and I don't think Elle would necessarily mind me talking about this. So I'm not even going to say how many years ago, but some time ago, Ellie took an overdose. Her mental health wasn't great. She was really in a bad place, and she started being really, really sick at home. And I thought this isn't normal. She didn't tell me at first that she'd taken an overdose. So I then got it out of her, and she was like, "I've taken an overdose." I rushed her to hospital, as you would, and they put her on some medication that was going to make her violently sick. And I had to. So I was the only parent there with her. It was only me on my own, with Ellie's friend, and I had no option but to be there with her. So I feel like at that point, I did kind of get used to being around people being sick. But in that time as well, I knew that I wasn't going to catch like like a bug from her, because it wasn't a bug. There was a reason why she was being sick. So like, I'm fine if I know I'm not going to catch anything myself. Although I still don't like it, I had to just be brave then, and that was a really shit time, to be fair. But yeah, and since then, Ellie has developed the same phobia.
Yeah.
So now Ellie has the same phobia, and I think that's because the time that she took an overdose, it obviously traumatized her because of how much she was sick. So yeah, Ellie now has the same phobia, and I'll get messages off her quite often, and she's like, "Mum, I feel sick." So I know I have to kind of try and make her realise that half the time that she's not going to be sick. It's just that she's having an off day. But I do get an awful lot of messages from Ellie where she's like, "Mum, I don't feel well."
Yeah.
And Darcy also has the same phobia as well.
I think it's more common than people know. I do.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, because I know of a few people. I just trying to think if I've got a fear, like a phobia. Um, I don't really. Obviously, my biggest phobia and fear, and something that I worry about every single fucking day, is something bad happening to my kids. But that's more my mental health,
yeah,
you know. But I can imagine it's horrible because like when you get that sick feeling, it must just be like panic, like oh my god, I'm going
yeah,
to be sick, you
yeah.
know.
That's how I was on the ferry that time. The first time we went over, and I was like constantly messaging you. I was like, "I don't like this. It was rocky. It was making me feel sick, and I felt dizzy. Like, it just wasn't a nice feeling." And I think that's why I was so panicked, because I did start to feel sick. And there was one point on that ferry where I actually physically felt like I was going to be sick.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's why straight after I got off that ferry, I was looking for the Eurotunnel back, because it was like that was a safe way to get back for me. But I'm slowly conquering my fears. Obviously, I have a fear of like drowning as well. I can't swim, so that didn't help. But yeah, the main reason why I never wanted to go on a ferry was because my fear of being sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine it would be really difficult. Um, yeah, it just baffles me. Not in a bad way, like I completely understand it, but I just think like how would you get around life with that? you
It's
know,
hard.
because my children are sick all the time. I personally think, I think it's funny enough to bring this up because it was 5 years ago today, not 5 years ago today, 5 years ago this month that we were all put into lockdown. Obviously, Evie was only just coming up to 2, was she? So she was young. And obviously she had pretty much 2 years of her life contained in the house, and she's ill quite a lot. She deals with it very well. And when I say ill, I mean just like a bug here, bug there, or a cold or a cough over winter and stuff.
Mm.
So I'm grateful I don't have that fear because, you know, I don't know how I'd deal with it. So I think you've done really well to get yourself to a point where you can even sit and discuss it, because I know there's people out there who can't even think about it, let alone say the words.
Yeah, and there was a point where I was like that. And like when I went to therapy, like my therapist said to me, like, what can trigger you? And I was like, well, I could be writing a message, and if like in that message I was going to say, well, I don't know, for like an example, um, my child has been sick today, I wouldn't be able to say sick. I wouldn't be able to say it, and like in my head, if I said that word, it meant that I was going to get ill. Like it was very fucking weird. But I'm not at that point anymore, and I feel like I've come a long way. Maybe age has helped, I don't know, but I have come a long way with this phobia, and I am not as bad as what I used to be. 100% I'm not, but the phobia is still there.
Yeah, I think you've done well, and I don't think you're alone.
Yeah, and this is why I wanted to talk about it, because I do have a couple of friends on Facebook that have the same phobia, and there's actually a page on Facebook for this phobia, which I'm on, and that's how I met them. And like I feel like now I see a lot about it. Like there's a lot on TikTok. I see the odd thing on Facebook, and I feel like now like more people talk about it. And yeah, I was interested to know if anyone that literally we talk to or anyone that follows us has the same phobia, because yeah, I'm just interested. It made me think.
Yeah, and I reckon they probably have.
Yeah, I
I
think that'd
still,
be.
I still can't think of a phobia that I have. I know when I was young, I used to have a really odd phobia, but look, when you look it up, there is a name for it. So I love water. I was always a water baby. Love swimming. Love water. Used to do diving when I was like 10. Um, but I used to be really really scared of the underneath of objects in the water. So not objects in the water. So like the underneath of a boat or the underneath of a buoy. You know, like a buoy that floats in the sea.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah. I've never known that there was such phobia.
Yeah, so the underneath of that would actually make my skin crawl, and I'm getting my toes are curling now. I don't know. It's just it's a thing. It's a thing.
I,
But yes, I don't mind like big objects in water. Like I would swim up to them, but it's the underneath of them.
yeah. No, I've never heard of that. Like I didn't know there was such a thing. That's odd, but
You know,
that
I'm gonna
like
look that quickly.
people do have these phobias, and like please, anyone in the comments, tell us if you have a phobia that is like an odd or any phobia, but anything that's odd fascinates me, because yeah, like some people have phobias of, like, crumpets with all the holes, like things like that. People, and
Oh yeah.
there's a name for that, and I can't think of what it is.
So the one that I was just speaking about, I feel like I bumped my head. It was a bit bruised. Submerge. Of course, submerge. Submergeophobia is the term for a fear of submerged artificial objects. It's a specific phobia. If a person has submergeophobia, they will usually experience fear when thinking about the upside bottom of objects underwater.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
I just need to know everyone's phobias now. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
It's fascinating, really. Like, obviously, it's a real phobia to people, but to me,
No, no. It can take over someone's life very easily.
yeah. And my phobia kind of did to a certain extent for a period of time. It really did. Um, yeah, I need to know people's phobias. So please, anyone, tell me your phobias. Like, write in the comments or whatever, because yeah, I'm nosy. I'm gonna start looking up all these phobias now.
Yeah, and like you said, the one about like the holes in it, I always thought like, what the fuck are you on about? But you know, like these TikToks that you see, and it will show like the just a weird crumpet with loads of holes in it, really close up.
Yeah,
It does make me feel a bit like, oh,
yeah, it
do you know what I
grosses me
mean?
out.
I can get it. I get it. I
Yeah.
do get it. But so Leo's got like this picking pad for his autism, and then once he's picked everything out of that, it's like little bees and stuff. That looks pretty odd.
Oh God.
So, but yeah, there is so God. There's so many, isn't there? Obviously,
There is.
clowns. Clowns is a real one. It's not just for children. So many children, like so many adults, are really fearful of clowns.
I was the same as a child, believe it or not. Hated clowns.
I love clowns.
I'm okay with them now.
What's another? Obviously, you've got like heights and spiders, isn't you?
Yeah.
Boring. Valid. Sorry, it is valid. But I'm just saying, like,
They're like
um,
the usual phobias, aren't they?
yeah. But what else? Because I actually used to follow this account on TikTok, and she'd do her makeup as a different phobia every single time.
That sounds quite cool.
It was really cool. Really cool.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there's lots of fears, isn't there? And I
There
think
is.
a phobia is different than just being scared of something. Like someone can just be scared of flying, but does that give you a phobia of flying? I don't know.
Yeah, see, I used to hate flying as well, but that was purely because I never went on a plane often. I feel like now doing this hobby, the more I get on a plane, the better it is. Like, I don't have a fear of flying anymore. I don't. Um,
Yeah,
but some people are so bad with it. Like, some people legit cannot get on it. There is another explorer, actually. I don't want to say his name, but there is another explorer who has a fear of flying to the point that he missed out on a trip because he didn't want to get on a plane. And, like, that's a legit thing.
yeah. Mate. I'm the same. I would absolutely shit myself. Like I don't think I could do it. I would have to get my doctor to prescribe me like a lot of meds because I'm so scared.
Mm. And the thing is, like, just recently, there's been a lot of plane crashes, hasn't there?
Yes, and someone predicted this as well before Christmas.
Did they?
Yes, like I love a conspiracy. Don't ever get me started on conspiracies. We're never doing a pod about conspiracies because I will not stop. But yeah, someone actually predicted that in the first 3 months of 2025 there was going to be an insane amount of plane crashes, mainly in America, but some in the UK as well. And obviously, there's been quite a few in America, hasn't there? But I don't think there's been any in the UK yet, has there?
I'm not entirely sure, and I don't even want to look it up.
No, that's what I mean. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, that is another thing for another time. Do you know what? If you like conspiracy theories, get Ricky on. You and Ricky do a pod because he is exactly the same.
I fucking love them. And do you know what? I'm so I mean, you know, don't you? Because I've spoken to you like about vaccinations for kids and stuff. But
Mhm.
like, I feel like I back everything up with facts as well. Like, you could come to me, not you. I'd love to have a debate with somebody. So anyone that's like an anti-conspiracy theorist, honestly, can we could have them on, couldn't we, Beck, and have like a friendly debate?
Yes.
Yeah. So hit me or Becky up, and I will happily argue the toss of you and throw facts at you that you didn't even fucking know the government have released. So let's go, bitches. But no, I love a conspiracy theory. I do. I love a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Did everyone see that Peppa Pig's Mummy Pig's pregnant?
I see that the other day and I was like, what the fuck?
She announced it on ITV this morning. It was the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. They had like a whole half an hour. They were interviewing her live from her home, and she announced that she was pregnant with a scam photo.
It's crazy, isn't it?
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I mean, congratulations, but a bit OTT, wasn't it? What the hell?
Yeah, it was a bit OTT.
Oh, have we come to the end? Sorry, I'm yawning.
Shannon's getting bored. But yeah, actually, we've got 4 minutes until we've been on for an hour, so we've done really well there.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we spoke about quite a lot actually.
Yeah, we did. The UK Urbex scene at the moment. Fucking sort it out.
Yeah, right. Leave my house alone. No, I didn't find it. I do not claim to have found this house. Didn't know about it. I was given the pin, but you've all fucking ruined it for me by getting there before me.
Yeah, I think people need to find their own stuff. Come on, guys. Like, literally, find your own stuff. It's more rewarding.
Yeah, 100%. We did a podcast on it about, if you're unsure what to do,
Yeah.
so just go out, push these places, the places that you drive past every day and think, oh, that could be, go and fucking knock and say that you've lost your drone or something, because you never know.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. Hi, I've lost my drone. If you see it, can you contact me on this number? Give a fucking fake number.
Hmm.
Sorted. Because if someone's answered the door, you know they're not. It's lived in. It's not abandoned, in it.
Yep. Look at the houses I checked the other day. Well, a couple of months ago. Remember, I was telling you I was so excited. I
Yeah.
sent them over to you, and you were like, "Oh my god, 100%, got to be." And I was like, "Yep." No, this house you could barely get to because it was so overgrown. A little old lady answered the door.
Yeah.
That surprises me. Like some of the states of these houses that people actually live in. Like, wow.
Yeah. I've come across the same thing. Believe me, when I've gone to a house, thought 100% it's abandoned, knocked on the door and someone answers, and I'm like, how are you fucking living in this? Like, I understand that sometimes they're old and they can't necessarily do some of the works that need doing, but at what point do people get involved, like social care and things? Is it social
Yeah,
care? So social services, isn't it, that get involved with the elderly?
adult social services. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I don't understand why these people are not being like more looked after, because if they're living in these conditions, it's not healthy and it's essentially could kill them.
Yeah, because half these places have got no heating, riddled with mold. Some I've been to ones that haven't had electric, but literally, um, oh God, sorry, someone's just messaged me, and Evie's going home with a friend, and she said I completely forgot and left Evie at school, but I've gone back and got her.
What the hell?
Oh, um, what was I saying?
You were saying about like the state of some of these homes, like not having electric and things like that.
Yeah, there was one place I went to in Fordham Bridge near me, and she had a torch because there was no electric, and there was actual like poles holding this house up, and I was just like, wow.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, it's very concerning that some people are being left to live how they're living with no help.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's another conversation for another time, maybe. But we have come to like an hour now, I think, ish.
Are we making an announcement?
Yes, we are. So I nearly forgot. Thanks, Shannon. Um, so we are going to be changing the day that we do the pod and the time. And we was trying to work out when it's better to do it. And personally, for me and Shannon, it works better for us to get it up on a Sunday evening. Because we're chilling at that time. Like during the week, we've got things going on. We're rushing around like with the kids or things like that, and it's just easier to do it on a Sunday evening. So yeah, we're gonna get the pod up every Sunday now at 8 p.m. And we hope that you can all come over on a Sunday and come chat with us.
Yeah, because we think it would be like majority of people. Obviously, not everyone is at home on a Sunday, so if it works, it works. If not, like we love seeing you in the live chat. Like we really do. Like, we both really look forward to that every week.
Yeah,
But obviously, if you can't make the live chat, then just come over and listen later. We still appreciate that.
yeah, and leave a comment.
Yeah, and I think we're going to try and promote it a bit more, but like, going into the future, because
Yeah,
we need to, and I feel like it's got a lot more potential for other people to join us.
absolutely. Yeah,
And for
yeah.
people that claim to be our friends and haven't, fuck you, because that's fucking two-faced ass bitchy thing to do. So there we go. Right, we'll see you next week.
Thank you everyone for listening.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.